sexually aroused, blood fills the many vessels in their lips and becomes fuller and more sensitive, and not to mention more red. Therefore, when a woman is seen with this shade, it turns heads and catches many eyes. Women also use lip lining to outline and even create an exaggerated boundary line of the lips and pronounce a fuller shape. The most provocative reason for this practice that I found is why we find this alluring is that it mimics aroused genitalia of a woman. I don't want to get into much detail, but when a woman or a man is sexually aroused, blood rushes to blood vessels fill throughout the genitalia, making it fuller and red, more red. This has been an interesting thing to find information about, and I hope that I revealed something very new for you today, and that might seem very obvious now. I know that I'll never see an advertisement for cosmetics the same way again, and maybe when you're not thinking about how makeup and sex are related, you can look at other aspects of your life and see what else can really be behind it. Thank you.
All right, Kat, what did you think?
I thought it was very interesting. I didn't know beauty was so scientific, and I don't know if I can see what's the same ever again. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and I think the only critique kind of I have is that you were looking at your filter a lot and you were dependent on it. But other than that, it was pretty good.
All right, well, these oral evaluations are ignoring a few things that I've asked people to do. I'm not picking on you in particular. I just noticed that people seem to have forgotten that we talked about structuring the speech and citing material and visuals and those kinds of things. The assessment of the subject is fine. I thought it was an interesting topic. I thought you did a good job in the first part of the speech citing some material. In the later part of the speech, it seems like you just give up on that and you're giving us the theory and the ideas and concepts without giving an explanation about where those theories came from, if this is your inference about what's going on, or if some researcher or scholar has come up with these ideas, and I think that you needed to be a little bit more consistent in the second part of the speech doing that. The opening line is a little bit awkward. I think maybe, I thought it was kind of interesting. It seemed to me like you had the preview right before the thesis statement, and so that's a little bit awkward, but I could tell where you were going. So the structure of the speech was pretty solid. The visual materials, they're used primarily as transitions between the secondary points so that we know which subject you're talking about at any given time, and that's okay. They don't add a huge amount to the content of the speech, but they do allow it to have some structure and know where we're headed. On presentation, there are some odd pacing things, a couple of issues on pronunciation. It took me 3 or 4 hearings of the word malnourished before I figured out what it was you were saying, and I'm not sure if it's just I was missing something or the way you emphasized one sound in the word. I'm going to have to listen back to it because I thought it was just a little bit odd. It looks like you needed to have a little bit more practice because you went through things and it was taking you more time than you expected, or you were devoting additional information to some subject. It's an 11-minute presentation, so you're more than 3 minutes. It's actually 11 minutes and 7 seconds, so you're more than 3 minutes over time, and you needed to have a lot more control of what the content was there. And I did tell you guys the joke, right? Why women wear makeup and perfume? Oh, yeah, okay, I just want to make sure. You know. I don't want to repeat it, you know, if you've heard it. You know, I just want to make sure that I punished you with it. All right. And Jason, when you get this back, it's going to be a little smeary because this paper is not sucking up the ink very well, and so it's a little iffy. All right, Christine is going to be our next speaker.